Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April 5th meeting of the Village of Wilmette Appearance Review Commission. We have a few preliminary statements that we'd like to start off the meetings with, but the first thing I'd like to say to everybody is tomorrow is our local elections. And if you have not had the opportunity to vote yet, could you please find time in your day to do so that our great village and whichever village you live in can operate in a way that we all participate in. This is a regularly scheduled meeting of the Wilmette Appearance Review Commission. Mr. Sievertson, will you please call the roll of the commissioners?
Yes. Nada Andrick.
Present.
Richard Brill.
Here.
Devin Castellano.
Here.
Doug Johnson.
Here.
Mason Miller is absent. Jeffrey Saad.
Here.
And Charles Smith.
Here. Thank you. This meeting is being conducted remotely via Microsoft Teams. For those watching this video, in the future, the state of Illinois is currently under a stay-at-home order issued by Governor Pritzker due to the coronavirus global pandemic. As a result, all in-person governmental meetings have been canceled. However, the Open Meetings Act now permits electronic meetings of governmental bodies, and this evening we are conducting our business in compliance with state law. As usual, this meeting is being broadcast live on our local cable access Channel 6. It is also being broadcast on the internet on YouTube Live. To participate in the meeting, you can join through Microsoft Teams. Visit the Village website at www.wilmette.com and find the calendar event for the Appearance Review Commission meeting. There is a link for you to join the meeting. You may also submit your comments through YouTube Live. A member of the village staff will read your comment to the Appearance Review Commission. All comments to the Appearance Review Commission will be recorded in the meeting minutes as we typically do. For our meeting guests joining by Teams, when you are not speaking, please keep your device muted to minimize disruptions of the proceedings and your video turned off so that the board members can be seen. The cases we shall hear this evening will be heard in the order set forth in the published agenda. When your case is called, please state your name and address and provide a brief presentation of your proposal. The commissioners we have received the staff report, which includes the plans and documents you've submitted. After the presentation by the applicant, the commission will ask any questions they have of the application. Once the commission has asked their questions, we will open up the floor to others who may wish to speak on the application. I will recognize each attendee to ask if you have a comment, so please wait to be called upon. Everyone will be permitted to have their say, though we would ask you keep your comments as short and to the point as possible. Any comments received through the YouTube chat, Teams chat, or email will be read into the record at this time. After we've heard all oral presentations, I will close the evidence and the members of the board will discuss what we have heard and take a vote. Once the evidence is closed, no further testimony on an application may be offered. The only people entitled to speak during that part of the proceeding will be the members of the commission. If you're here and planning to testify tonight, which I don't believe we have any variances, so we don't need to swear people in, I would ask that, regarding our agenda, so everyone knows, we have a approval of minutes, we have a brief consent agenda item, and then we will have 4 cases that will be presented to us this evening. We also have been given in advance the minutes of the Appearance Review Commission of March 1st, 2021. I'd like to ask the commission if there is a motion to approve those minutes and a second if so chosen.
I move we approve.
Second?
Second.
Are there any comments before we make an official vote prior to approving the minutes? Hearing none, Lucas, could you call the roll, please?
Yes. Nada Andrick.
Approve.
Richard Brill.
Approved.
Devin Castellano.
Yes.
Doug Johnson,
Approved.
Jeffrey Saad,
Approved.
and Charles Smith.
Approved. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Lucas, could you please present the consent agenda item to us?
Sure. Case 2021 AR 11 for 105 Green Bay Road. The petitioner is Calico Corners, and they're requesting an appearance review certificate to install an awning sign. They currently have an awning sign and a wall sign. They'll be removing both of those and just replacing it with one awning sign.
Thank you. I assume that all the commissioners have either through electronic means or through the packets that were dropped off to us been able to look at this. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Hearing none, Lucas, could you please call the roll?
Oh, sorry. If we could just do a motion.
Yeah, we
and
need
then
a motion to
a
approve.
second.
A motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
Thanks. Okay. Nat-Andrick?
Approve. I have a very brief question. I see that the canopy above the door is removed.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Still approved. Thank you.
Richard Brill?
Yes.
Devin Castellano?
Yes.
Doug Johnson?
Yes.
Jeffrey Saad?
Yes.
And Charles Smith.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you very much, everyone. I believe that as I mentioned, we have 4 cases this evening, and we will go in order as they are listed in the agenda. Lucas, if you could please call forward the first item, AR09.
Yes. Case number 2021 AR09 for 1146 Wilmette Avenue. The petitioner is Sophia Stake, requesting an appearance review certificate to replace the existing entrance with a new revolving door and swing door. And I see the architect Steve Weiss and the petitioner Glenn Kiefer are both on the call. I believe they're both muted, so if you could unmute yourselves before presenting.
Steve, you're still on mute.
Got it.
Okay. Glenn, do you want to start?
Okay, so when we left off, there was some question whether or not the swinging door that would cover and extend into the public way was approved or not. And the building engineer, I guess the village engineer said no, in keeping with other decisions recently, that we'd have to keep that door swinging on our property. We had 3 questions, I believe, about the finishes, which we sent back to Lucas. So it seems like we've submitted a plan that has the revolver plus an ADA door that swings only onto our property and no further. We've answered the questions on the materials, and is there anything else that we should be providing to the board?
Well, thank you for that summary. You're correct, and you did send a full document set to us. So I think I will give our commissioners the opportunity to ask any questions if there are any after the very good submittal you put forward. And I'll start, Devin, if you have any questions or comments.
So has there been a change of material since the last meeting, or was it just, I know from my memory, I know there was issue with the egress door. Has the materials changed at all, or is that?
Well, we had 3 questions. Is the base hardware brass or bronze? And we responded that all hardware is oil rub bronze.
Yeah.
The second question was, will oak paneling be cut to accommodate profile of existing granite base, or will granite base be cut so the oak panel is flush with existing masonry? So we submitted an attached markup and said that the oak panel will be cut. There'll be no granite cutting. And then the third point was on the colored elevation depicting same finish for new oak panels and existing folding windows. And the response was that we have no modifications for existing folding windows, references for color only. Everything is to match. Was there anything else that was in question?
No, that was just, I couldn't remember if this was a change in materials or if it was just just clarifying. So no, I have no comments.
I think at one point Nada said that there was another element coming in, but the element is, there's an oak panel that's the same material as the revolver. So
Yes.
those two are compatible, and the coloration is going to be identical to the rest of the facade.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Richard?
Yes, want to thank both of you for coming up with this presentation with the door. It looks very good. My only question is, the swinging door looks pretty narrow in the illustration. It does meet ADA width requirements?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it looks narrow because you're looking at it sort of on an angle. It's sloped away from you a little bit, but no, it's a 36-inch door, which is the ADA door size.
Okay, that's great. That was my question.
Thank you, Richard. Nada?
Thank you, Glenn, for clarifying the oak, or the presence of oak. My quick question is, when this wall, that is the main facade wall, turns to yield the entry through the side door, what's the finish on that piece of wall?
It's actually existing brick, Nada. It's what you see there is existing, and it's the white painted brick and the granite base. It
Okay.
goes past the current storefront.
Okay, and that is what's on the face, remind me, I'm sorry, I forgot. Is the face also the brick? So that
Yes.
turn is very natural, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah, it's quite clean.
Thank you.
Doug?
Thank you very much for the very responsive and complete resubmittal. I have no questions. I think it's fine.
Thank you. Jeff?
I think it looks really good as well. In the elevation number 4 on your drawing, the line below the transom shows up there. I'm assuming there's a break in material, but on the renderings, it looks like one solid piece of oak. Will that just be a butt joint, or is that vertical line expressed in any way?
No, it's a butt joint. It would be 2 oak panels in the same plane.
Got it. Okay, that's all I got. Looks good.
Okay. Have I asked all of our commissioners present? Thank you. Okay, I have no further questions. Is there a motion for this case for approval?
Move to approve as submitted.
Second?
Second.
Lucas, would you please call the roll?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that there's no one else from the
Oh, that's right. The public.
here. I don't see anyone in chats, but if there's anyone on the call who wishes to speak or comment on this case, if they could just identify themselves. No, I don't see anyone else, so I'm going to move forward with the roll. Nada Andrick,
Approve?
Richard Brill,
Approved?
Devin Castellano,
Yes.
Doug Johnson,
Yes.
Jeffrey Saad,
Yes.
and Charles Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you as the season opens.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Okay, Lucas, could you please call our next case?
Sure. Next case, 2021 AR 12 for 416 Ridge Road. The petitioner is BCH 400 LLC, the property owner, and they're requesting an appearance review certificate to install two air conditioning condensing units. And the petitioner is here if you're unmuted. So if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Emily Attia. I'm representing 416 Ridge, and we'd like to really make the building usable for tenants. There's going to be like a commercial space is the front unit, and the rear unit is an apartment. So we would just like to update it to today's standards and have heating, cooling, and, you know, some good lighting, and that's it.
So, Ms. Attia, your application is specifically for a location of exterior condensing units and a fence, correct?
Yeah, to hide them.
Right.
Hide conditioners, yeah.
Right, and that's what we are reviewing this evening.
Yeah.
And so could you just explain very briefly a little bit more about, is it a painted fence? Is it a wood fence? Are there anything else we should know about it before we officially review it?
You know, I don't remember what kind of fence it is. I just remembered we will do anything, you know, that because it's in the parking lot of our own building. There's really, you know, I don't know what my architect put as regards as the finish. No one will really see it except maybe the tenants themselves when they park there. So we're just trying to comply with codes.
No, we understand. I just didn't know if there was more information.
No, they're little bitty units to cool these little bitty spaces.
Right. Okay. Hearing your presentation, I'll ask the commissioners if there are any questions or comments. We'll start with you, Jeff, please.
Sure, Charles. It looks like it is called out as a 4-foot high treated wood fence. It's interesting that how it's drawn in the elevation. You see the dotted line of the unit beyond. I'm not sure if it's showing as a picketed fence or a solid wood fence.
I was thinking it was a lattice.
Okay. So, and that's, I guess it just gets to Charles' questions a little bit more. If it is a lattice, is it a diagonal lattice? Is it straight lattice? Is it horizontal lattice? Like right now, all I'm reading is vertical pickets, I guess, as a question of just seeing what's on the drawing.
Mm-hmm.
And they are doing new foundations and footings, which I appreciate, so it won't sort of get knocked around as much. And Lucas, we don't have any issues with it being adjacent to any property lines or distances. It's the correct distance for everything, so we don't have to have any comments about that, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So I guess it would be nice to know what type of lattice, or if it's going to match the railing of the stairs, or something to go off a little bit more on, would be my comment of what it actually is going to look like.
Mm-hmm. When I'm looking at the drawing, it looks like it's the same as the stairs. That seems to be what it is. A 4-foot high treated wood fence.
Yeah.
And I think it looks the same as the stairs. I was wrong to say lattice, I'm sorry.
just what's on the drawings. That's all we can.
Yeah, it looks the same. So I would say it looks the same. It's consistent.
Okay. Thank you.
Since it's such a small house, I guess that would look the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Jeff, any other
Nope.
questions?
Solid.
Richard?
Yeah, a couple of quick questions. My memory is, in passing by this, says Pandora's Box.
Yes, it was.
Is it, are they still there or?
No, it's a vacant building.
Okay,
I'm trying to rehab it.
right. And your plan is to have retail of some sort in the front and residential of some sort in the back?
That's what's allowed. Yeah.
Okay. And finally, the fence is 4 feet high and the air conditioning condenser units are how high?
Well, they look to be about 2 feet high in the drawing.
Yeah, Richard, if I could answer that question, they're spec'd out at 28 3/4 inches in height.
Okay. And there's no pad under that would significantly raise that height?
That I know of.
There could be like a 6-inch.
Okay. Nothing close to 4 feet, though.
No.
Okay. Those are my questions.
Thank you, Richard. Doug?
Yes, just a couple of things to confirm now with our conversation, because I think it's important to, at least my agreement, is that in your opening, you mentioned lighting. Is there some sort of follow-on lighting issue here?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was just kind of trying to give you a full, explain the project, but it's just not an issue at all.
Well, lighting could be an issue. All I'm saying is there's nothing tied to what we're approving or tied to the air conditioning that has to do with lighting.
Not at all.
Okay, and the other question is, if I understand where we've come out, this is a wood fence that is solid and not lattice. Am I correct?
Well, it's similar to the stair railing that's existing.
Well, I guess my issue is from an appearance standpoint, a lattice hidden air conditioner is quite different than a solid wood.
It's
And
not solid. I don't think it's solid.
so picket is different than lattice is different than solid, and it's going to have to do with airflow, whether the air conditioning works, and what it looks like.
Right.
So Doug, I think, given the response, we should make the assumption that it is a railing to match the stair and the railings on the existing house.
Mhm.
And I think, if we so choose, we could make that a condition of the motion that's approved. And go from there, given its location and frankly, the fact that it's not visible to the public, I think, we can all make our own decision whether that's appropriate or not.
All right. Well, with that understanding, I'm fine. Thanks.
Okay. Nada?
I have no questions.
Is that everyone?
Me,
Devin?
Devin.
I don't have everyone's photo up here, so I'll have to poke me when I forget your name.
No worries. So I do have one question. I'm looking at the front of the building right now, which I know we're not addressing in this renovation, but is the front railing I see that it's existing wood, similar to what's proposed for the back. Is the front going to be replaced? Because looking at the current guardrail, handrail condition, it's open, which usually you're not allowed to have. So I wasn't sure if that was going to be replaced along with when you replace or when you add this fencing for the air conditioning units.
No, that was just done. The front was just done under another permit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's still the wood treated?
Yes.
It's all wood?
Yes.
It's all wood. Okay. Yeah, that would be my only suggestion is that it all matches.
Sure, that's great. That sounds good.
Okay, I have no further questions or comments. Thank you, Ms. Atia.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask if there are any public comments or questions.
Let me just check YouTube. There are no comments on YouTube.
Okay, hearing none. Is there a motion for this particular case?
So I move to approve as submitted on the understanding that it is a fence that will match the railing that's as drawn.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Devin. Lucas, could you please call the roll?
Yes. Nada Hendrick,
Approved.
Richard Brill,
Approved.
Devin Castellano,
Yes.
Doug Johnson,
Yes.
Jeffrey Saad,
Yes.
and Charles Smith.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good luck in leasing this. Hope you have some tenants very soon.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Okay, Lucas, if you could please call the next case.
Yes, case number 2021 AR 13 for 606 Ridge Road. The petitioner is Andros Andersons, requesting an appearance review certificate to install a single air conditioning condensing unit in their rear yard of a townhome unit. And Mr. Andersons is on the call. Are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm here.
Okay.
My name is
welcome.
Andros Andersons. I'm residing at 1326 Wilmette Avenue in Wilmette. I'm representing myself in this case for 606 Ridge. I'm a investor owner and GC on a project, and we are looking to install split system air conditioning with a condenser located outside of the back door, which is on the north side of the building, which is basically in the alley. Across the alley, there are approximately 6 garage doors of the other kind of a townhome complex. And my air conditioning condenser unit would be blocked by arborvitae trees, which are approximately 7 to 8 foot tall, fully blown. And unit would be located by the back entrance. There's kind of one step going up, and we would mount brackets to the brick wall. The wall consists of brick and cinder block, so it would be mounted approximately 10 inches off the ground and on heavy-duty brackets. Any questions you may have?
Thank you for that efficient description. Start with you, Jeff.
On the picture where you've located the blue square, is that where you're?
That's where it would be approximately, yes, sir.
Okay. And I know it's not in our. With that light well that it's sitting under, is that a bedroom by chance?
No, it's there's a laundry room underneath. On the south side of the building, there's a window well, which is with the fire escape.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Egress. Yeah, it's on the other
egress.
side of the building.
Okay.
Egress, yeah.
okay. And I guess if the large neighbors, Lucas, they've been contacted or they would know, like, there's not a setback or any issues with the placement of it.
The unit would be placed on the wall. That's why we are mounting on the wall, so it would be within those 10 feet of the property line.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
neighbors were informed. Neighbors were agreed
Yep.
on there are 3 other neighbors.
Got it.
Yeah, the location that was the reason why it's on the wall was because of the setback. They needed to push it back a little bit further, closer to the structure, in order to maintain that 10-foot separation from.
So we have 10 feet from the property line. We have 3 feet from all the gas line, the gas meters outside. And we chose a smaller unit, which is like 21 7/8 wide. So it would fit in those all the requirements.
And then you're putting arborvitaes in front of it, or one or
They
two
are
of them?
existing. They're
Existing.
existing there.
Oh, okay, so that other photo is the existing photo? Yeah. Maybe. Okay. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Jeff. Nada?
No question.
Devin?
No questions.
Richard?
Yeah, I've got one question, please. The air conditioning unit is going to be supported by a bracket that goes into the brick. And the air
Yes.
conditioning unit weighs about 123 pounds.
These
I'm wondering if
brackets
that
are
bracket,
good to support 600 pounds.
okay, and it's going to be there for years and years and years. And I wonder if the bracket can hold that and not fail at some point in time. That or the way it's mounted into the brick. There's no base underneath the air conditioning unit.
We could come up with some kind of support for the brackets if you like.
Richard, you heard that, and you read in the documentation that those brackets can carry up to a 600-pound weight.
Right. Yeah. But, you know, it's not, we're not talking about being there a month. We're talking about, 10, 20, 30 years. And, it's drilled into the masonry. And I'm just wondering if it can support 123 pounds for many, many years.
In last 15 years or so, I've seen so many air conditioning condenser units being mounted on mid-rise buildings, high-rise buildings where they didn't have air conditionings, and they are still out there. And I think no one would want to take that risk to putting them on a mid-rise building where it really could fall down 10 stories and hurting someone. And we are talking 10 inches from the ground here. I'm strongly believe that they could support that.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to raise that question.
No, thank you, Richard. Anything else that you'd like to ask Andres?
No. One of the, my other question was on the window well, and that was nicely answered before.
Yes, that was a really good question. Thank you. Doug?
Just a question, I'm not sure whether it's to Lucas or not, or Andres, but is the air conditioning unit and the electric hookup appropriate for 10 inches off the ground? And that's rhetorical almost, but that's pretty low for a non platformed air conditioner. So just a question.
Well, it would be inspected with the building department, with village building department. So if they approve all that, then we would be in good standing with that.
Yeah, and Doug, to try and answer that question, it has preliminarily been reviewed by our building inspector. I don't know if he's given a final sign off, but he has seen this configuration.
Okay, that's good. It's just low to the ground, and depending on how the junction box is put in, it might be a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you, Doug. Anything else?
No, nothing for me, thank you.
Okay. Did I give all of our commissioners a chance to speak? Okay, thank you. So I'd like to ask if there's a motion for approval, please.
Motion to approve AR 13, 2021.
606 Ridge.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Devin. Lucas, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Nat Andrick,
Approved?
Richard Brill,
Approved.
Devin Castellano,
Yes.
Doug Johnson,
Yes.
Jeffrey Saad,
Yes.
and Charles Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Andres, for presenting that.
Thank you. Stay healthy and safe. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
Lucas, could you please call our final case this evening?
Yes, the final case is case number 2021 AR16 for 123 Green Bay Road. The petitioner is CH Ventures, and the request is for an appearance review certificate to modify and repair the facade. The wall of this building was currently had, or I guess formerly had, a box sign that was installed along the wall. That was installed roughly in the 1990s. There was an addition to the building as part of that remodeling project. The tenant who owned the entire building and occupied the entire building, Kurt Saphir Pianos, installed their signage along this area. And in remodeling for the current tenants, portion of that was removed and damaged. When I said a portion of the cabinet sign was removed and damaged, and the petitioner is looking to repair the wall behind it, which has been sort of a patchwork of brick and stone since my best guess would be the 90s when it was remodeled. So they're now looking to kind of clean this up and install a new sign band for that wall for the new tenants. And I'm not sure who's presenting, but if you could introduce yourself, that'd be great. There's someone's on the line that's muted, so you might check if you could turn your mute off.
Yes.
There we go.
Hello?
Yep, there we go.
Yes, I believe I'm a masonry guy who's supposed to do that work from Teal Masonry. My name is Roman Balcevic.
Welcome, Roman. Thank you for
Hello.
presenting the case to us. Could you please give us a description of the work? And then our commissioners will ask you a couple of questions, I suspect.
Sure. Basically, like I understood, they took off the old sign, and right now it's behind is like all that crumbling brick, not crumbling, but what owner asked, basically remove everything between the top of the first floor and the second floor window, and install like limestone. And we're looking on that smooth gray Accucast stone that 24 by 12 inches. That is actually like 3 lines of that stone would complete the area between the first floor and second floor. And we would tie back that with a triangle top cons and to the existing back masonry. That's everything that I know. They asked us maybe we should remove the completely signs along that building, but like I understood that this was only for the first person, but maybe like that it needs to be done on the whole building. But the main is that it's gonna be just smooth Accucast stone. And they planning to put a new signs wherever tenants is going to be there.
Okay, thank you very much. Could I ask a clarifying question, Lucas? Are we reviewing this for the complete installation, including the signs and the backup Roman just described? Or is it just the masonry backup at this time?
Just the masonry backup at this time. I've got some conceptual drawings of how the owner and the tenant wish to install the signage, but I don't have any completed drawings at this time. But yeah, that's a good question. I mainly wanted to include them so the petitioner had the commission had an idea of kind of what the final design would be. But the main focus, or I guess the focus of this request is for the masonry repair.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, Lucas, could I ask you that, are you saying that we will eventually revisit and talk about the signage and the rest of the building?
There'll need to be a request in the future for the signage of those 3 bays, which you see in the drawing. There's another section of the building that's recessed, and as far as I know, there's no proposal to change the signage at that location since it was installed several years ago. So that's fairly new, but there will be a request in the near future for signage along those 3 front bays. Right now, the landlord has subdivided the space, so the southernmost bay will be 1 tenant, and which would be on the far left-hand side of the drawing. And then the 2 other bays where it just says retail space right now, those are currently vacant, and they're not sure how they're gonna, it's probably gonna be dependent upon the tenant as to how they're gonna subdivide that up further.
Thank you for that clarification. Richard, could I ask if you have any questions or comments to start, please?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm very happy, I'm sure we all are, to see a retail tenant moving in to that property. It's been vacant for many, many, many years. Were you saying you can remove the sign that says Kurt Saphir Pianos?
Yes, all of that would be removed.
Okay. From what we're looking at, I don't have any questions. It looks like it's work that needs to be done and would be beneficial.
Thank you. Doug?
Just a question, perhaps it's of Lucas. And I understood what you said about just kind of giving us an idea about the signs. But, you know, the die may be cast once this is put up. So are we restricting ourselves here to the size or shape of the signs? Or are you just indicating where they might be?
There is, well, I guess that would be a question maybe for the masonry or the mason. I don't.
Yes, I heard, because it's 3 big windows on the first floor. It's approximately 14 feet, long. They decided it's not completely, decided, but that each window gonna have their own sign, and it's gonna be, if those 2 other openings is gonna be occupied by 1 unit, then they're gonna put 1 sign between them. But basically, they thinking that they're gonna rent it 3 places, like divided on 3 or something, that each glass big window have a sign above it.
Right, and this sounds great. And I also am glad that it's going to be utilized. I do just want to make sure, and let me follow up a little bit, that there's nothing in the masonry that you're doing that will require or limit the height or the length of those signs, because it depends on how it's leased out perhaps, or where junction boxes are, whether or not those signs meet code. And we're just not that far along. I just want to make sure we haven't limited ourselves to how we then look at the signs?
No, I don't think so. We're just gonna basically replace that masonry behind the signs. Old signs was redone and cut off to fit the brackets of the piano store before. And right now, partial that gone, and all that original limestone is damaged. That the new owner requested just basically replace it straight limestone along that store, that they planning to each store gonna have the sign, and it's only area around like 3 feet by 14. Then the signs, like usually it's like 2 feet. It's basically gonna cover all the masonry that we put there, but we just make sure that masonry would be stable for all the signs, carrying the weight of the signs, but even that I don't think it's gonna be heavy and stuff like that.
Right. So if I understand you, then the 3 signs that would be there aren't, we're not putting ourselves in a position that they would be taller or higher than the one that's being removed now.
No, because what I heard that is going to be simple sign that attached to the masonry. Right now, it's that one of the older ones that extend with the brackets, and it's like really heavy. That I don't think it's by the code anyway right now, but they assure me, but I can't say for sure because it's 2 of the units not occupied, that is going to be the same single, same design like on the one that is renting right now, that all 3 of them gonna have the same stuff.
Okay, that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff?
I think this would be a welcomed sort of change to this. I in looking at the drawings, just trying to get a little closer, and it sounds like you've been a mason for many years, so I'm sure you're going to take out all the bad when you're putting in the new. Just on the 2 ends of the elevation, where the piano sign is, and on the left, it's unclear to me where your cobbling or the lintels start and stop, where the vertical piers of stone are going up on the facade. On your elevation. I know that might be getting a little in the weeds of it, but are you going to be replacing any of that with the stuff that you're taking out, or how are you? What is that detail?
Basically, my original, like what I suggested to them, to follow those columns that you see between the windows, that kind of like yellow and stone, that just follow them straight on each between the windows. Is like 4 of them. But they actually asked me to just remove, because all of it is damaged, just removed and put like straight limestone, gray cast stone along that, because it's fitting the measurements. It's actually 3 feet wide between the lintel on the bottom store and the top of the window, and they thought that is going to be a good design and kind of like look good, and half of that is going to be covered by the signs anyway, kind of. But originally I said like maybe we can follow those yellow stones up to the, like those columns, and just put the limestone between them. But I don't know. It's
okay. And then would the black brick be staying on the top where the limestone is, and your new stone?
The black brick, I'm not positive right now. The architect said that we should kind of leave it in the play like it is right now, but because it's our new stone is going to be offset probably 2.5 inches of that black brick. Because that black brick is embedded like under the windows. And it's probably 30% of that black brick is damaged right now. Then I'm not completely positive that we can save that, or we can put just some kind of like window ledge and finish it like that, or because it's a little bit offset, like probably 2.5, 3 inches of the original like limestone wall.
Yep. Well, it's just confusing on the existing elevations when it's clearly remove the red brick, but then I see the red brick at the same plane as the black brick. And I know it's not means and methods, but I just, that horizontal datum of the stone going all the way across, and when you get in there, you're gonna have to redo more of that.
Yes,
Anyway.
basically, the architect mentioned that we should leave it, and I said like, okay, if we can't, we will.
Yeah.
But if it's basically not gonna tie it with our new wall, then maybe we're gonna need to remove and put the new window seals under it. Just make sure that no water would get there and it would be solid and in masonry design.
Okay. I mean, the gray band stone, I think would work, so I don't have any other comments, but I think it will look nice.
Thank you. Nada, do you have any questions or comments?
Yes, I do. I'm just kind of looking at all of this I'm wondering, are we working on some sort of a partial considerations of the needed recovery or recuperation of the facade? Because I see on a page 2, acrylic flat cut letter, non-illuminated echo letters. What part of this submittal? And if, if this is happening, if we are addressing the soffits only, shouldn't we be looking at the also what is the ultimate finish that is going to be receiving the sign? Could we do a favor to the owner by sort of bunching it all together and taking care of the entire facade, including the black brick and whatever else? So this is just a question, a practical question.
What I heard, because it's part of the sign right now removed, the owner asked me to remove the rest of the sign that right now and replace the masonry. Everything else, it's I don't know. It's not up to me.
Well, I feel that that there will be a sort of a follow-up work needed here. So I'm just questioning, speaking aloud, thinking aloud. Is it should that be reconsidered and included in the whole consideration of the whole facade reparation, recovery or whatever, repair? So that we know when they talk about the sign. So this partial elevation here that says proposed looks nice, and I don't know if, this almost looks ready for some sort of a consideration that we can give to it. And meanwhile, we are just talking about what's behind it, right? The repair of the limestone. I don't know.
Yes, but we are not reviewing at this time the signage. It's just the basic 3 courses of cast stone that's going in to clean up the damaged materials and to somewhat neaten up the facade. Is that correct, Lucas?
Correct. Yep. Just the stone repair. And at this time, the owner is leaning towards having like installing like a flat aluminum panel, which would be installed to the new stone, And then each tenant would then install their signage on that panel.
Surface.
That's kind of the most recent plan that
Okay,
discussed with the owner.
no more questions.
Lucas, could I ask a follow-up?
Yes.
So I understand what Dot is asking. So one of the pages in this packet is not a part of the proposal because it has an acrylic sign on it. So that's a potential sign in the future, but we're not locking ourselves in, right?
Correct.
And are there junction boxes behind or near the sign?
Yeah. Right.
Are there junction boxes? That I do not know.
Because that makes a huge difference as people come and go and move their sign around.
Yeah.
Right. So what's the version that's been discussed with me currently was that the sign would not be illuminated. So they would not need any electric run to it. Now, certainly in the future, you know, I can't say what might happen in the future. But as of now, they've stated that they're not looking for it to be illuminated.
Okay, thank you, Lucas. Devin, do you have any comments or questions?
I have a similar question regarding the black brick. So on the existing elevations, it looks like there's at least like 2 or 3 courses of that black brick between the existing metal panel and the existing limestone band. But it looks like from on A1 details, I think it's 8 and 9, it's showing just possibly like a 1 or 2 inch reveal. So does that mean that 3 courses of cast stone is going to be a little bit taller than it is right now to kind of conceal some of that black brick?
Yes, it's actually correct. 3 courses is gonna come out basically to the black brick, and because those black bricks, it's only 2 courses of them under the windows, most of them damaged, and I'm not positive that we can find those to replace to make sure that they would be like original design. And right now, if you take a look from the street, sign, they not even noticeable. They just there. They covered by that existing limestone that offset of those black bricks.
Well, I was actually just going to make, I mean, the black brick actually just kind of looks like a mistake.
Yes.
That the panel was not long enough. So that would be my suggestion, is to make sure that there's just an inch or 2 reveal from the new cast stone band and that metal panel, so that if it's there, it just kind of goes away and you don't see it.
Right. Our plan is basically to go with the cast stone up to that metal panel, just don't leave any gaps there between them if we can't. But right now, I'm not positive why they have set 2 inches. Then we're gonna make sure that no water penetration, and design it would be kind of flowing from the bottom to the upper stone and that aluminum above.
That sounds good. That was my only question. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I have no further questions. Is there any comment from the public at this point in time for this case?
There's nothing on YouTube chat, and I do not see anyone else on the call.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there a motion from our commission?
Could I ask for a little discussion first? I think I'm not sure what the best process here is to make sure this project goes forward in a thoughtful and a quick way. But without kind of thinking ahead to the wiring, the junction boxes, and the type of sign, and yet we're putting cast stone in, I'm wondering if we're getting ahead of our skis.
I just, if I can say, I didn't see any outlets or pipes coming out from the masonry itself from inside. I think it was connected from outside before. Then basically we're not gonna do anything what is not existing, I'm guessing, because electric pipes was connected for like from the side to those signs, existing signs before.
Right, but now the signs they're sequential. There's going to be several of them, and it's going to look different.
Right, but it's not a question for me.
So, Doug, my observation is Lucas said that these signs have not been communicated that they're going to be lit. And we're not reviewing the signs at this time. We're reviewing the masonry coursework. And the applicant will have to come back to us because right now, even on the drawings, between that 8.5 by 11 sheet and the larger drawings, there's not consistency on the sizes. So, so I think I'm divorcing my review of this and looking at this from the signage at this point. It's totally different. And if they need to come back and drill for pipes from the inside, they'll have to do that later. Because I don't, unless we require the applicant to come forward with a coordinated set, which I don't think we can do that at this point. You know, we'd have to push forward then the motion if you also choose.
Yeah.
Which is a possibility. Yeah, and this isn't, this isn't unprecedented for some. I mean, for newer buildings that don't have tenants yet. I mean, the case in point, the building at 611 Green Bay Road, they did not have tenants when that facade was completed. And so it was just a stone facade. And once they got tenants, they drilled, through the masonry. It's a requirement that no conduit be exposed. So that's something that we can easily place on any future approval. So there's not junction boxes. All of that can be behind the wall. Really, the only thing that's coming through the wall would be a, half-inch conduit for the electric power. It can be done where there's no exterior junction box.
That's my concern. Thank you. So that would be my understanding of moving forward, is that there would be no showing conduit later on.
Yep, fair concern. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, hearing no public comments or questions, having exhausted our commission's questions and comments, is there a motion on to approve this case?
I move to approve it, subject to the understanding that it will function so that no exposed conduit is necessary in the future for the signage.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Lucas, could you please call the roll?
Yes, Nana Andrick,
Approved as commented.
Richard Brill,
Approved.
Devin Castellano,
Yes.
Doug Johnson,
Yes.
Jeffrey Saad,
Yes.
and Charles Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. I will ask the commission, are there any new business items that you wish to bring up at this time? Are there any public comments at this time from anyone that's not on the commission?
There are no comments on YouTube.
Okay. I want to thank the commissioners for their time this evening and for your continued dedicated comments and contributions to the village. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Lucas, please call the roll.
Yes, Netta Hendrick,
Yes,
Richard Brill,
Yes,
Devin Castellano,
Yes,
Doug Johnson,
Yes.
Jeffrey Saad,
Yes.
and Charles Smith.
Yes. Okay, everyone, thank you. Please ensure that we all vote and enjoy the start to April. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.